What is going on, people? Welcome back to the vlog. In today's video, I'm going to be making a Cash Money AP type beat. And what I'm going to try and do this time, like as I'm making the beat, I'm going to try and tell you what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I figured that way it'll be a bit more helpful for you guys. I feel like just making a beat with no structure to it, not telling you guys what I'm doing is a bit useless. So I'm going to try and sort of narrate as I'm going through sort of the beat making process, tell you why I'm doing it, and then obviously you can take some of these tips and then use them in your own beats. But yeah, we're going to dive straight into this one today, guys. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you are not subscribed already. Hit the bell so you don't miss another upload. And yeah, let's just dive into this. All right, so stop the screen recording. Okay, so I'm going to kick things off with like a soft road sound. I feel like in a lot of Cash Money APs kind of beats, especially these newer ones, they kind of like follow like an R&B kind of style to them. So I'm going to start off with that, throw some chords in, and just go from there. So I'm going to start off using the harmonic minor as the scale. I'm just going to draw that in, just so I sort of know where I'm going with the with the scale. Root note with C, and then I'm going to draw in I can't remember the name of the chord, but it's got a number code, and I did this in a previous video. And the number code for the white keys is 0, 3, 7, 10, 14. If you don't know what that means, go back to the previous video where I explain how to do that exactly. I'm just going to draw them in now. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, that's the chord. So it's got the R&B kind of vibe to it. That's what I'm going to try and go for with this. In fact, I'm going to draw the single keys out first, so I kind of got a rough idea of where I want the chords to go, and then we'll go from there. So. Okay, that sounds alright to me. Now I'm gonna layer these chords up, so I'll do the same number code that I just explained. So 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I'm just gonna drop that root note down by an octave just to give it a bit of a bass note instead of playing all in the same octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's a bit nicer. Okay, now I'm going to draw in a different but very similar kind of chord because I'm on a black note where this note plays, G sharp. It's a different color code. It's a different number code, so it's 0, 4, 7, 11, 14 this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's kind of nice, I like that. So I'm just going to duplicate that over to the next 12 bar. And then I'm going to add like a little bass note underneath here just to give it a bit of variation. And that's just going to bring it nicely through to the next bar. Good. Okay, now let's just sort of layer some sounds on top of that first, just to get an initial sort of vibe of the melody, then we'll come in with the drums. Okay, so I'm gonna go in Omnisphere, I think. Just while that's loading, like, it's super important to layer up your sound. So I'm basically just gonna copy and paste these chords into like another keyboard preset in Omnisphere, just to sort of widen the sound out and just make that melody sound a bit fuller. You know, you can chop and change a couple of keys here and there, but it's good to just sort of layer and just stack sounds on top of each other. That's just sort of like a little side note. See? I think I'm going to add an extra bass note in this Omnisphere keyboard sound, just to get... Good. Okay, now I'm going to start jumping in with some drums, and then I'm going to add like a little counter melody. I feel like just establishing the chords first, add some drums in, and then adding like a little counter melody later on is kind of a good way of doing it. Sometimes, not all the time, but that's the way I'm going to go with this beat. So let's dive in with some drums, and then see what's what. A little bit. Okay, I'm going to chop these up a little bit in a minute. I'm going to add a clapping first, and then I'll go back and chop the hi-hats up just to give them a bit more bounce. I really like this clap at the minute. It's in a free drum kit. It's called the Appreciation Kit. I think it's on SoundMajor's website. Really good drum kit. Okay, so now I'm going to layer up that clap again. As I said earlier, it's really important just to stack sounds on top of each other, both melody and percussion. Okay, let's dive in and start chopping up these hi-hats. See you. Okay, that's going to be it for the hi-hats. I don't want to overcomplicate it too much. I want to, you know, leave some space for some more percussion later on down the line, because Cashmoneyap tends to use a lot of like perks and riffs and hits and, you know, just stuff to give it extra bounce. So I'm going to come in with those later on. So this is what we've got for the hi-hats. Some high notes, some low notes, and then, you know, some neutral notes. Okay, so we got the initial start to the beat, so I'm going to go in now and start filling in the gaps with a few little perks and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to use some of the perks out of my my drum kit called the One Drum Kit. I've got an absolute ton of perks in here, so this is like a really good kit to, you know, just literally, if you're stuck for inspiration, just to sift through some of these. So if you want to get your hands on this, I'll drop the link in the description. I think that sound's got a bit of a tone to it, and it sounds like it's sort of out of key, so I'm just going to check the key in this. Yeah, it's in C, so I'm going to drop this down by a note like that, just so it hits properly. Okay, so one thing to point out with like Cashmoneyap type beats is that when he does his perks and stuff like that, some of them tend to be hit and miss, but some of them are quite consistent, and that's kind of good to find that balance between making consistent sounds, so like something that hits every 4 bar, and then having something that just drops in and out of the beat, you know, as the beat progresses. Almost finished up with these perks. I'm going to add 1 or 2 more in and a snare, I think, and then I'm going to go in with the bass and maybe a counter melody as well. Okay, that sounds good to me. Okay, this is sounding pretty good. I think I'm done with the percussion. All that's left is to add a counter melody in. You know, with Cashmoneyap type beats, it'll normally have a very strong chord progression, and then it'll have, like, you know, real subtle melodies that sort of come in and out. And to be honest, they're not that complicated, but they sound really nice because they hit in the right spots. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the flute for this melody. I'm gonna start with like a real easy flute to listen to, and just listen to the tone of the keys and everything, and then I might switch the sounds up a little bit later on. I'm gonna have it go. Okay, I think we got some good keys. The sound just sounds a bit shit, to be fair. So I'm going to play around with some of the sounds over here. You know, come up with, find a nice little flute and then go from there. That's nice. Okay, that sounds good. So what I've done is pulled up this flute sound, and I've turned down the attack a little bit, or turned up the attack, sorry, just so it sort of hits a bit softer, and I feel like that'll just come in nicely when the melody comes in and out, you know, throughout the course of the beat. So I'm going to leave it like that. Maybe layer up this sound again, I think, and just sort of broaden out the sound. Maybe a little string section, just to beefing it up a little bit. Okay, so I found this sound, it sounds pretty dope. It's a string in the nostalgia folder in Omnisphere. Sounds like this. That's pretty dope. So I'm going to add this in, and I've laid it on top of that flute. So just saw something to sit underneath it, and I'm going to have that when the flute kind of drops out at the end of each bar, I'm going to have the strings to sort of carry on playing, just so it fills out that melody a little bit. Alright, we're almost done with that. I think now I'm just going to add in a kick and an 808, and I think it'll pretty much be done with this beat. And what I'm going to do, and another little tip for you guys, once you have like a full melody, so I've got 2 sets of chords, I've got a counter melody that's been laid up a couple of times, you know, once you've got that full melody, then maybe just drop out all the sounds barring 1 or 2, just so you can really hear the drums and how the bass hits with the chords and all that kind of stuff. So for me, I'm going to just have the first chords that I played with the soft Rhodes and Nexus. I'm just going to have that play with the drums, and then I'm going to add the kick and the bass in and just sort of, you know, see what I can do to finish this off. Alright, that sounded pretty dope. So I've got the kick, the bass, percussion, full melodies in. I think we're pretty much there with that beat. All it needs now is for me to track it out and get it done, and I think we'll be there with it. So here's what the full beat sounds like. I'm just going to track out a little bit of the beat just so you guys can see sort of how I'd go about structuring out a Cashmoneyap type beat. So let's get rid of those. Okay, so I've got like a rough start to this beat worked out, and this is, to be honest, a lot of this will be repeated throughout the beat. Just got a simple chorus, and then, you know, sort of just lead it into the first verse. So we're going to start with the intro, which is this section. Then that's going to transition into the hook, which are these two 8 bars. Then we're going to finish off with the hook, and then that's when the first verse is going to drop in. Okay, so this is where I'm at so far, but I'm going to leave it here, and I'll let it play out. And that was the whole beat, people. Let me know what you guys think of that one in the comments. I'm going to try and run this format a little bit more often, where I kind of like narrate what I'm doing as I'm doing it. I feel like that'll just be a lot more useful for you guys. But you guys let me know how that was for you, and we'll just go from there with it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure that you get your beat submitted for the beat critique video as soon as possible. So make sure you drop that comment down below saying beat critique, because I'll shoot the video, I need to edit it, then I need to upload it. So basically when I drop the entry video, I'm going to sort of look at the beats and shoot the video either the day after or the day after that. So make sure you just get in there straight away with those comments, and I will look at your beats and get you on the channel. Okay, but yeah, that's all for today, people. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're not already. Hit the bell so you don't miss another video, and I will see you next time.